Once upon a time, three friends were having a wonderful time playing dress-ups when one of the friends found something really cool. The three friends knew that the hula skirt came from a faraway island called Hawaii, where it's warm and there are beaches and palm trees. Then the friends found something from another country in the dress-up box. There was one last piece of clothing from another country in the dress-up box. A very special hat to be worn in the cold, cold weather. Hey, love that Russian dance. Suddenly, one of the friends had a fantastic idea. The magic carpet had arrived. But where were they?
Hi.
But which country was it? This person was wearing a Russian hat, a Hawaiian hula skirt, and some clogs from Holland. Where could they be? What a great country. But soon it was time to go home. So they said goodbye to their new friend in Mudlapland. And off they went. In no time at all, the three friends were back home.
I love Mudlapland. Do you think we could maybe make up another country together?
Oh, well, how about later? Now it's time to sing a song.
Yay!
Once upon a time, there was a little kitten called Carmela. I think today's going to be a grumpy kind of day for Carmela. Ah, here comes her human Peter. Maybe he can cheer her up. Suddenly, Carmela had an idea. Then a dog came by with a juicy bone in his mouth. Just then, a bird flew past, carrying some crunchy birdseed. Now here comes Pig. What will she think of Carmela's breakfast, I wonder? Oh, what a breakfast. A dog's bone, some birdseed, some gooey, smelly lettuce, and an old potato skin. Carmela was really hungry now. I wonder what her breakfast will taste like. From then on, Carmela loved having milk for breakfast, but she kept the bucket and spade just in case. Oh, and that's the end of the story. Well, we're free to do what we like now, so time to sing a song? Once upon a time, there was a duck called Sophie, who lived in a beautiful pond right in the middle of the city. It was a very busy city, but Sophie loved living here with all its city noises, and its city smells, and especially its city food. One day, Sophie found something exciting in her mailbox. It was a party invitation. It was from Sophie's cousin Frank, the farm duck. So it was decided, Sophie the city duck was going to Frank's farm. It was a long way to the farm. Sophie flew, and she flew, and she flew. Finally, she arrived in the farm pond. Here comes Sophie's cousin Frank. The long flight had made Sophie a bit sleepy, so Frank left Sophie to have a nap before the party. Soon she was fast asleep. Until there were lots of noises in the city, but Sophie had never heard a sheep before. Sophie was asleep again until Sophie had never heard a cow before. It was time for the party. Sophie hadn't had much sleep, what with all the country noises. But there was no time for sleeping now. The party was a big success. All the animals had a wonderful time. But soon it was time for Sophie to fly home again. Sophie was so happy to be home in her city pond with all its city noises. And Sophie the city duck slept peacefully all night long. Come on everyone, let's go sing the animal song. Once upon a time, there was a girl called Rosie. Rosie lived with her family in a busy house. Her favourite place to be was her bedroom. Rosie's favourite place to be was her bedroom. There were books to read, and games to be played, and imaginary places to visit in that room. Rosie's room was soon very messy, then messier. And even messier still. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. All Rosie ever seemed to say was tomorrow. I thought she might say that. Rosie did love to go to the park, and she didn't want to wait until tomorrow to go there. So Rosie and her dad looked and looked for her special hat, until at last they found it. The whole family had a wonderful time at the park, and Rosie's room was almost tidy for a day. Join us for a song? Once upon a time, in a street not far from here, lived a girl called Alex. Alex loved music, all kinds of music, but her favourite music was bagpipe music. But not everyone loved the bagpipes as much as Alex. Here comes Alex's mum. Alex dreamed about being a famous bagpipe player one day, but at the moment it was a bit hard to practice in the house, so outside Alex went. Now she could practice and practice without bothering anyone. Or could she? Oh dear, Alex's dad doesn't seem to like bagpipe music either. Not only was it hard to practice the bagpipes in the house, it was hard to practice in the garden. Poor Alex, no one seemed to like her bagpipe music. Thunder. I love the sound of thunder. But not everyone does. The baby was awake now and a bit frightened by the thunder. The baby really didn't like that noisy thunder. Even a warm blanket and his favourite toy didn't help. Looks like our friend Alex has an idea. Wow, all that practicing playing the bagpipes really did work, and the baby has stopped crying. Baby wanted more bagpipe music, so from then on Alex practiced all the time, and every day she got just a little bit better. Maybe she'll be a famous bagpipe player after all.
Okay, enough of that baby stuff. Come on, let's go and sing another song, huh?
Once upon a time, there was a brother and sister cloud. The sister cloud was called Blanche, and she loved floating in the gentle breeze, looking at the world below. The brother cloud was called Graham, and he loved telling jokes. He never stopped. Oh, poor Blanche. All she wanted was some peace and quiet. No more jokes. Suddenly the wind changed direction, and Blanche was blown away from her family. But soon Blanche noticed that it was nice and quiet without her brother telling all those jokes. Blanche was enjoying the view and the quiet when the windy weather cloud blew past. The windy weather cloud was too far away to hear Blanche, but soon someone else dropped in. Blanche couldn't believe it, but now she was actually starting to miss her noisy brother Graham. It wasn't long before the wind changed direction again, and this time Blanche was blown to her home. Graham still wanted to tell jokes. Blanche was happy to be back with her brother, and even happy to listen to his jokes. But she likes singing better. Looks like we're all going to sing a song right now. Come on! Once upon a time, there was a dragon called Cosmo.
Getting strong.
Na, 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 na. Oh, whoops, back to the story now. Yes, let's see. There was a dragon called Cosmo who lived in a warm cave. Cosmo loved to knit. He knitted woolly socks, he knitted woolly scarves, but most of all, Cosmo loved to knit big woolly jumpers. Cosmo was knitting away happily in his cave one day when he heard his brother and sisters roaring. Cosmo really didn't like stomping, roaring and fire-breathing like the other dragons. He liked to stay in the cave where it was quiet and warm and he could do his knitting. Cosmo felt a bit left out. He wished he had a friend to talk to in the cave while he knitted. Oh, that night there was a heavy snowstorm outside. Oh, and Cosmo did the most knitting he'd ever done. There were socks and scarves and jumpers all over the cave. When his brothers and sisters came home, they were very, very cold. Cosmo knew just how to help them warm up. Cosmo gave all the woolly clothes he'd knitted to his brother and sister dragons, and before long they were nice and warm. From then on, the other dragons never laughed at Cosmo, even though he still didn't like roaring and stomping and fire-breathing. He did other things very well. Now I think it's time for you and me to sing a song. Once upon a time, there was a little silver toaster. The toaster had lived with the same family for a very long time. Here come the children for their breakfast now. The children can't hear what the toaster's saying. I think the toaster's feeling a bit left out. The little silver toaster felt that he looked very different to the colourful bread maker. He also felt they both did important jobs. The toaster was feeling really sad now. The little silver toaster made a decision. What's he up to? I guess we'll soon find out. Ah, it's the next day already. Here come the children for their breakfast again. Suddenly the children noticed something was very different. The little silver toaster didn't mean to look like a Christmas tree, and he certainly didn't want to be called a pile of junk. The little silver toaster was just wondering what to do next when... Uh-oh, there wasn't going to be any yummy warm bread for breakfast today. The little silver toaster was so happy to be making toast for the children again. So from then on, the little silver toaster didn't try to be anything else except himself, and the children made toast with him for a very long time.
Hey, cool story. Why don't we pop over there and sing a robot song?
Let's do it!
Once upon a time, there was a group of friends who loved to play music. They decided to start their very own band. The only problem was they couldn't decide what kind of music to play in the band. Everybody liked a different style. Kathleen liked country music, but Nathan wanted to try a different style of music. The band wasn't quite sure it was the right style for them. The friends thought and thought about what kind of music would suit everyone. Then Kelly had an idea. The others thought that Kel's idea might work, so they took their places. And they all started to play their instruments. Well, I don't know what style of music that is, but it sounds pretty awful. Hi-5? Hi-5. Great name for a band. And you know what? I think they've finally found a style of music they all like. There's just one thing missing. They only have 4 friends in the band. To make Hi-5, they need one more person. Me!
I got music in my bones. They go tap, tap, tap. They go click, click, click. They go clap, clap, clap. I've got tapping and a clapping bones, clicking and a clacking bones. There's music in my bones. Come and dance with me.
You love that Hi-5 style music? Come on, time for another Hi-5 song.